My name's Camille Moritz, and Spirit calls me a revelator of light. It's not a name I personally chose. It's a name I was asked to take. I have the ability to bring the unknown into the known, and to have the whatever you most need to know be made aware so that you know about it. So I can reveal the unknown. Doesn't sound very good. So what I handed out to you is a 2-page document. And this is something that I often share at workshops and talks that I do at shows, expos, things like that. And these are a list of daily plays. Let me talk a little bit more about myself so you know about me. I was born very psychic, and I was raised in Alaska, and a very, not a very city place, but more subsistence lifestyle, off the grid, connected with nature. And I was taught transcendental meditation when I was 5. And then from there, my parents divorced and remarried, and I went more into a traditional childhood. Because of my intuitive ability, I spent all my childhood astral projecting and daydreaming in school, where I would imagine sacred geometric shapes in my third eye and put color and light around people and watch their personalities change. I went on to get a graduate degree in Jungian psychotherapy, and I've spent more than 20 years working in clinical mental health settings, and I've also been a correctional officer in maximum security prisons. So I have a pretty long background of working in traditional human service settings. After working about 20 years in a mental health setting, I was asked by Spirit to open up a metaphysical center in Homer, Alaska. And I left my 9-to-5 job while I had 6 teenagers in my home and opened up a metaphysical center in retail space. And what ended up happening was that the work that Spirit facilitates through me was so powerful, and so I didn't have enough time to do both at once. So I shut the store down. I had another gentleman take it up and go forward. And I started writing my book and traveling and sharing the information that Spirit has for me to share. When Guadalupe first came to me, she burned herself into my third eye and was there whether my eyes were open or shut for about a month. And then Divine Mother came to me in every mother apparition of the Catholics with a different message than the Catholics, and many other forms, such as Isis and Mott, and many other forms. Then, when Guadalupe came, it was also a vision of Mother Earth, because I have the consciousness of Mother Earth. And what that means is that Mother Earth said that she would no longer sacrifice herself to be a third-dimensional planet. She was taking back her rightful form and place as a fifth-dimensional planet, and she was going to shake and shiver until every human caught up. And she showed me a totem animal as a donkey, a jackass who can't procreate. And she said that no longer would she have this unbarren totem. She was taking back the horse, the stallion, as her totem. And so her message to me was to teach that humans have to no longer sacrifice themselves, but instead that we need to say yes to our God self in our heart first. And when we say yes to what's in our God heart first, we're saying yes to the one ascension of Mother Earth. Humans are 100% karmically responsible for every word they have, every thought they have, every feeling they have, and every action they take. And I teach deliberate, conscious intent, meaning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you are responsible for your frequency. And if you choose that which serves your soul's divine good, then you are ascending. And if you do not choose that which serves your soul's divine good, then you are building and accruing karma. Ascension is a human choice to engage in the evolutionary process that your soul is already involved in. The earth has already shifted her frequency and her axis more than 16 times in just these few years, which is old already by now. Between 1964 and 2013, NASA documented 11 Earth axis shifts. And each time we have to reset the subatomic clocks, and we have to change the airplane navigational equipment, because if they were going to follow their navigation and land, they would not land on the runway, because where the Earth is different than where it used to be. Okay? I have known all my life I'm part of the rainbow prophecies. The rainbow prophecies is the prophecy of all the many people coming together to unify through the one heart, the one love, for the one ascension of Mother Earth. That's a very simplistic way of doing that, okay? In this handout that I handed you, Spirit calls these the Easy Golden Age Playbook, the daily plays for enlightening life, because it is a paradigm shift. And nobody told you the rules changed. And in the past, you had to work to get something. And in the now, your job or purpose is to request it through the Sacred Heart, because it's immediate manifestation of your Sacred Heart desires if you have no unconscious energy blocking it. However, humans' unconscious mind controls the cellular biology and your outer life 95% of the time. Therefore, everything I teach is about how to reprogram your unconscious and be free, so that when you are making your sacred requests from your Sacred Heart, it's immediate manifestation, if it serves your divine good and is aligned with divine will. To do this work, we have to first begin with the daily play of recognizing that our power is inherent. You have to do nothing to have your power. The very fact that your soul is incarnated as a human being is the reason why you have power to co-create. Because every word you speak is going out ahead of you to create what it is in physical form, as sound creates form. Right? So our power is inherent. It's just for being. You don't have to do anything. You are originally innocent. Every human being is originally innocent, and you are energy. You are an eternal soul in a temporary human form. Your form is temporary. Your soul is eternal. And when you wake up and recognize that you are an eternal soul, the power of creation moves from unconsciously, just like doing it haphazardly, to very deliberate conscious choice and manifesting. All right? So the first play that we want to do is the Rainbow Bridge, which is a daily form of grounding. The science of the Rainbow Bridge teaches us that there are two strands of light from the source down to the human body, and that the human has to build the third strand of light up to source energy, which is called the Antakarana, or the Rainbow Bridge. And this is actually where you're moving up dimensions, moving your awareness up higher. Okay? But for that to happen, the first thing we have to do is put our Atman in our heart, our God self in our heart. When you put your higher self in your heart and talk to your higher self will always, always bring you an answer. And in the science of the Rainbow Bridge, 100% of the time, when the human invokes, the higher self evokes. So we can say it. Thank you, higher self, for the love I have today. Thank you, higher self, for the love I have today. Thank you, higher self, for the success I have today.
Thank you, higher self, for the success.
Now, when you put your hand on your heart, it becomes the copper wire, because the first ray of God, which is God's power, purpose, mastery, victory, and eternal peace, anchors into the crown chakra. And that is a positive polarity. And the second ray of God, which is love and understanding and divine intelligence, is anchored into the heart chakra. And that is a feminine polarity. And the third ray of God, which is conscious co-creation, which is really called the inventor, through the third, I just lost that, that's crazy. So when you put your hand on your heart, you're merging the first ray and the second ray so you can use the third ray, creative active intelligence. Are you okay? Welcome.
Oh, hi.
All right. So say it with me, please, because in the science of the Rainbow Bridge, invocation is important. People say, well, why can't I just think a thought form and get it? Well, when you think a thought form, it puts an imprint into the mental causal body. But when you speak a thought form, it puts an imprint into the astral causal body. And in the sacred science of manifestation, which is also called the science of precipitation, the raining down from the unmanifest universe into form, the manifest universe, it has to come through the column of light. Aha, our crown chakra. Aha, an idea. What does it look like? How could I see that happening? How could I write it or speak it or share that dream with others? Is it heart-centered? Does it feel safe in my solar plexus? What action am I going to take to make it manifest? And then in the root chakra, it manifests into physical form. Because your body is a column of light, and Mother Earth gets a lot of her light by you being the midwife, the transducer, or the column of light, letting the maximum amount of that light flow through your body into the earth. The full embodiment. Okay? So we're going to begin with activating our God knowing so we can turn it on. So if you would repeat after me. Imagine the golden sphere of your mighty I Am presence and just pull it down and put it in your heart and just say, let there be light.
Let there be light.
My higher self now resides in me.
My higher self now resides in me.
Divine understanding is activated in me.
Divine understanding is activated in me.
I take back all my intended powers and birthrights.
Take back all my intended powers and birthright.
To know, to see, to hear, as source energy through my own human heart and my personal understanding. I invite my soul and my higher self to be with me today and every day, to answer all my questions and demonstrate my pathway. Thank you, higher self, for doing it. Okay? We always thank our higher self for doing it. Yes, somebody asked me if I work with Ascended Masters. Yes, I work with Ascended Masters. However, there are so many imposter spirits out there that we always ask our higher self to do it for us. The Ascended Masters will come and help you, and yes, you can work with them, but it's our higher self. The part of us that is our higher self is the part of us that is part of the one. The one all that is. The omnipresent field. Okay? There is only one caste, the caste of humanity. There is only one religion, the religion of love. There is only one language, the language of the heart. And there is only one God, and He is omnipresent, or she is omnipresent, within and without. Right? So when you are putting your higher self, God self in your heart, you're turning on your omnipotency. Okay? So that's the first one. We're going to activate that God knowing. So the next one is we're going to create our column of light. The reason why we're creating our column of light because it's building the rainbow bridge. And because when the heart torus turns on, it is 5,000 times bigger electronically, electromagnetically, than the mind. All right? And the goal is to get the heart torus turned on. Because when you get that heart torus turned on, you become much freer of negative agenda energetics that attack you in the lower frequencies. Because Ascension is all about raising your frequency. But it is a descension process. Ascension is a descension process. It's the process of being the full embodiment of your higher self in physical form. And in the early days, we taught spirituality as if you have to leave your body and not be of the body because the body was a sin. But now we're on the inhale. We had the exhale of God, now we're on the inhale. And what that means is we have to be fully embodied. And many spiritual people are only sitting up here. But to be the manifester of heaven on earth, to consciously choose to co-create heaven on earth, which is your birthright, you need to be in all of your chakras and cells equally. Okay? So say it with me. I invite my higher self to reside in my heart.
I invite my higher self to reside in my heart.
And all my chakras equally.
And all my chakras equally.
It is safe to be in my body today.
It is safe to be in my body.
I send my grounding cords
I send my grounding
down my column of light
down my column
into the center of Mother Earth
into the center
and the
of
earth heart.
And the earth heart.
And imagine just sending her love. And then in a moment, you'll feel that energy coming back, lifting up from the earth into your heart. Say it with me. I send my grounding cords
I send my grounding
up my column of light
up my column
into the center of the heart
into the
of the great central sun.
great central sun.
And send your love up your column to the center of the sun and just allow that to come back. I pull up from the earth and down from the sun, filling my heart.
Fill up from the earth and down from the sun.
The rainbow bridge is now complete.
The rainbow bridge is now complete.
And I ask my star Merkaba to activate and spin now.
I ask my star Merkaba to activate and spin now.
Thank you, higher self, for doing it.
Thank you, higher self, for doing it.
Okay? You can spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You can do a meditation. You can get on the internet and punch in Star Merkaba meditations. You can look at 12D shielding techniques. There's lots of meditations on activating your Star Merkaba. However, if you're really quick the way I am, all you have to do is say it, and it's happening. Okay? Immediate manifestation of your sacred heart's desires. So now that we've put our higher self in our heart and we've created our column of light, we want to begin by making sure that we are clear. So when we set our intention from our sacred heart, it manifests in form, right? And in order to be clear, we need to make sure we're not storing other people's energies in our body. Because most people who have illness and sickness, and maybe the word most isn't the correct word, many people who have illness and sickness is the manifestation of their body storing other people's thought forms and emotions. Because when one human being feels responsible for another human being, it opens your doorway up for their energy to sit in your body. So Spirit calls this daily divine detachment. And it's a daily practice. A daily practice of being clear. Okay? And you're going to say, well, what about my family members? I don't want to disconnect from them. And we're going to say, fine. Next time you connect with your family members, let's make it only through the heart chakra. Because the heart is the Ascension temple. It is 0 point. There's an infinite supply through the sacred heart. Okay? So let's begin by that. So stand up. How many people here have used the pendulum before? Raise your hand. Your body is a pendulum. And when your chakras are balanced in a line, your pendulum will go forward. And when they're not, and you're not in your body, you might go backward. But it doesn't matter which way you go as long as you get a clear yes and no. So say it with me. I am open to learning about my body pendulum and trusting it in the now. Okay? So I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to say, body, show me yes, and you'll feel me go forward. You turn. Body, show me yes. Okay? And then body, show me no. Okay? And then we'll ask a question. My name is Camille. Yes. My name is Donald Duck. No. Who gets a clear yes?
I've been doing this for a long time.
Great. Okay? So now we're going to ask the next question. Are you ready? Are there any people psychically courting me in the now? Are there any people psychically courting me in the now?
Are there any people psychically courting me now? Yeah.
Who gets a yes? Raise your hand. Am I psychically courting anybody in the now? Who gets a yes? Okay. So, if people are courting you, you can look. What body part are they courting? What chakra are they connected to? What's the unconscious energy in me that allows them to connect that chakra? Okay, we can look at that if we want to, but right now we're just going to clear it. Say it with me. Through the power of the one heart in me, I am a free sovereign being with direct access to source energy. An eternal soul in a temporary human form. I acknowledge all the people courting me, and I send their energy home to them or to Mother Earth as Source intends it to be. And I bring all of my own energy back to me. I am now the only thinker in my mind and the only feeler in my body. I'm creating a life of divine detachment where I love all people and all people love me without psychic entanglement. Thank you, higher self, for doing it. Okay, put your hands back on your heart. Is anybody courting me in the now? gets a yes, raise your hand. Okay. Okay. And am I courting anybody in the now? Okay, you have your daughter in you.
I know.
So just put them on the side, temporarily. Okay? If you still have somebody attached to you, you're either obligated to them through a karmic relationship, and sometimes we have people from previous lifetimes in contracts. So a lot of times we'll have multiple people, okay? So now we're going to do the next part of it. Say it with me. I release all soul contracts I've ever been bound to in any lifetime that I am responsible or obligated to the soul of any other human being. My mother, my father, my husband or wife, my children, my community, my friends. I give them all back to source energy. And I call on some angels to go take care of them. Okay? I bring my energy back to me. If I ever, say it with me, I take back my power to say yes to my God-knowing and my sacred heart first. If I ever choose to take care of another human, it is now through choice, free will, and joy. And we only connect through the heart chakra. Thank you, higher self, for doing it. And ask again, is anybody courting me in the now? Okay. Am I courting anyone in the now? How many people got 0 people courting me in the now? Good job. Good job. How many people still have some? Anybody? All right. So a lot of times it takes people like 3 or 4 weeks to get clear of just people courting you, okay? You can all sit down. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that before I go on? Yes?
I feel somebody's kind of getting into my space. I just say, God bless you.
That's fine.
It works.
That's fine, and yet at the same time, there is a whole paradigm of energies. That if you are storing unconscious guilt or shame that you don't know about, because unconscious means I don't know that I have it, then if somebody else out here has the same frequency of guilt and shame, their energy is going to glom onto yours and everybody else's, and over time there'll be an entity on top of it. Okay?
I still say God bless you.
And you can still say God bless you, and that's beautiful. However, it is important because we are responsible for our energy, all right? And I can tell you I've had more than 30 people come to me with very serious illnesses where it wasn't their energy, all right? You're storing all your dad and mom's criticism, and you've been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, which is criticism. It's probably their criticism stored in your body, not your, do you understand that? So that the unknown is the unknown. You don't know that your unconscious mind, you have your conscious mind. You know what you know. You have your subconscious mind. We can bring up the memory of your 13-year-old birthday. As soon as I said it, you're remembering it. And then we have the unconscious mind, the part of us that we don't know that we don't know. All right? So first level of clearing is daily divine detachment every single day. If you're a doctor or a nurse or a practitioner who works with people, I'll have a principal come to me that has 500 students in their body. I'll have a nurse that has all of their clients, all right? So this is God's work. These are God's people, and God pays me. This is not Camille. Camille's the facilitator of Source, not the miraculous healer, all right? So that's where I come from. And it's really important to practice daily divine detachment, because you'll have your children come home from school and they'll have everybody in their class attached to them and they won't know about it. All right? So we need to be free of other people's energy, because we are the walking Christs. This is the time on the planet where you need to show up and be say it with me, I am my highest, free, divinely intended, sovereign, individualized expression of God, Goddess, my own color of the rainbow, a you, man or woman, and through the power of the one heart, I am unified with all that is. everybody else so I feel like I'm an outcast or a monster. No. My unique individualized expressions of Source allows me to express Source. I am the action of God. I am the light of God. The light of God resides in me. I am the love of God. The love of God resides in me. I am the action of God. The action of God resides in me. You are the vessel for Source to be on the planet. And because of that, you're responsible for every single thought form that you have and every emotion you have. And unconscious emotions will keep us blocked. So the next level of clearing is anything blocking my divinely intended good in the now? Is anything blocking my divinely intended freedom in the now? And we do that with the body pendulum as well. So if you want, you can ask. You can just say, higher self, in my heart, is there anything blocking my good in the now? Okay. Is there anything blocking my intended freedom in the now? Okay. Did you get one? Can I use you as an example? So, how many energies are blocking my freedom in the now?
3.
Okay, how many are mine?
How many are mine? Oh.
Yeah, it's all right. You can ask out loud. How many are mine?
2.
Okay, how many are thought forms?
3.
Okay, so whose thought form am I holding in my throat chakra? What's Dad's thought form in my throat chakra? About wisdom.
Yeah. What is his thought form?
Look in there. What are the 3 thought forms that are limiting me in the now? What's the first one? Reveal yourself in a way that I personally understand.
Well, when it comes from Dad, it's fuck you.
Okay, say with me, I'm not responsible
I'm not responsible
for my dad's thought forms, values, or beliefs.
for my dad's thought forms, values, or beliefs.
About fuck you.
About fuck you.
I claim my birthright. Thank you for transmuting that. I claim my birthright
Claim my birthright.
to love you.
To love you.
Okay? How many unconscious energies are blocking my good or freedom in the now?
2.
Okay? What are those? 5. H5 is the first thought form. Life is, at age 5, life is.
Life is hard.
Okay? I release all soul contracts. We can all say, I release all soul contracts I've ever been bound to in any lifetime. The life is hard. Struggle. Controversy. That I have to fight to live, fight to work, fight to die, fight to eat. I claim easy as my birthright. I proclaim that life is easy. It is easy to live. It is easy to work. It is easy to feed myself. I claim easy. Thank you, higher self, for doing it. Okay, so ready, Clay? Am I storing any unconscious energy blocking my good or freedom in the now?
Am I storing any here in the now?
No.
No.
It's that fast. It's that fast, okay? Your state of consciousness has everything to do with your frequency. Your current state of consciousness will immediately bring back to you what it is. If your soul's had 100,000 lifetimes of hardship, and you know it, release the agreements that life is hard and claim easy. Choose it in the now. In the now. Tomorrow, I'm going to ask again, because tomorrow is not in the now. Always in the now, all right? So, first level of clearing, we don't want other people's energies psychically courting us. Second level of clearing, we want 0 energies blocking our intended good and 0 energies blocking our intended freedom. Every day, all the time. Yes?
I'm feeling, just on the first one, can you say again what it is, the first one?
The first what?
I'm not psychically corded to...
Psychically corded to others, and others aren't psychically courting me. Psychic enmeshment.
So I'm feeling a little resistance to the clearing that we did, because I'm wondering how, I know from my own life that there are definitely sacred contracts and agreements that
Yes.
I have with people that are lifting me up.
Yes.
So I don't want to...
Okay, so you can walk beside me as a goddess whole, and I'll be a goddess whole. And from our sacred heart, we'll do our prayer work together, and we'll heal Mother Earth fast.
So what the clearing that we just did is for all of the...
It's just for this moment. Tomorrow they might be back. All right? It's up to you. You have free will. You choose what's for your highest good. Say it with, put your hand on your heart. Say it with me. Is it for my highest good? Everybody do it with me. Is it for my highest good? To clear other people's energies from my body. I get a no because I don't have anybody's energies in my body. Is it for my highest good to keep my body clear of other people's energies daily? Yes. You get your own answer. Don't listen to me. Your answer's in your sacred heart.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Nobody else knows your answer.
Yeah.
Okay? Nobody outside of you, no matter who they are. No spiritual guru, no teacher, no human being outside of you has more wisdom or knowing for you than your own sacred heart answers. Okay? So anytime you start studying a spiritual teacher, you ask, is it for my highest good to learn this? Does this serve me? And then if your higher self says, no, don't clear the people, then don't clear the people. I'm not attached to that. I just share what Spirit wants me to share with you. They appointed me to be a representative of the Karmic Board of Record Keepers. And what that means is that I see right into the soul's records. And when people come to me, I see what's blocking them from their highest good or whatever intention. Because the third level of clearing is, what is your sacred heart intention and your purpose? Is there any unconscious energy blocking that? Say you want to open a retreat center. Say you want to get married or you want to find your beloved. Say you want to publish a book. You want to build a house. You want to earn money. Set your intention. What is your sacred heart's intention? What would you most like to experience in this world? Then ask, am I storing any unconscious energy that would keep that from happening? And if you are, then ask it to show itself to you so you can clear it. Because if you are clear of the unconscious energy, it will happen. Okay? You could spend lifetimes wandering around trying to figure out the answers, or you could go right to your God knowing in your heart. Okay. Any other questions before I go on? So we're talking about our daily plays. Daily play. Your power is inherent. Okay? How many people here have judgments about power? Okay? Because people have misused power as force. Okay? And that is not power. That's abuse of power. So for our power flame to be fully healed, because what Divine Mother says is that we have to heal the threefold flame in the heart and balance the threefold flame in the heart. And once the threefold flame is balanced, then we clear the four causal bodies of all karmic debt. And the threefold flame in the heart is love on the left, and it's our birthright to have and receive the infinite supply of love and all good things, physical, tangible, and non-tangible. Respect, unconditional love, esteem, funding, food, housing, clothing, shelter, the infinite supply of all you're intended to have, the flame of love. And the wound on the flame of love is sacrifice yourself to be responsible or be the burden bearer of other people. And this has been effectively taught in all of our world religions, and this has also been effectively taught in spiritual circles that teach you to be of service without being in service to the Christ in your heart first. I call it sovereign service. When I say yes to what's in my heart, the world says yes to me. When I say no to what's in my heart, I'm saying no to the heart of one Ascension of Mother Earth. And over time, nobody says yes to me and everybody says no to me. And I'm a burned out, wounded healer. Okay? So when we heal the flame of love, we're taking back our birthright to have the infinite supply of all good things, and we have to go retrieve our inner child from that place where she was or he was sacrificed and return those fragments of our soul. So say it with me if you'd like. I release all soul contracts
I release all soul contracts
that I'm obligated to others
And I'm obligated to
I take back my power
I take back
to
my
say
power
yes to what's in my heart first.
Say yes
Say yes
to what's in my heart first.
When I say yes to what's in my heart,
I say yes to what's in my heart.
the universe says yes to me.
The universe says yes to me.
Okay? So we're going to go back and bring our inner child home from all those places where we sacrificed ourselves. And now we're going to be in sovereign service, meaning I am a sovereign being. Nothing has authority over me. I am the only authority of me.
I am the only authority.
Right. I have the power of my own. Right. So the flame of power is on the right. And the flame of power is our birthright to say yes and to say no. To say yes and choose and manifest our Sacred Heart's desires. To say no and unmanifest any obstacle, opposition, or life experience that is not for our highest good in the now. And the wound on the power flame is the belief and experience that power is domination, subjugation, and force. And that I have no power or choice but to accept the force of others or to use my force to protect myself or others. So when we're healing our power flame, we're going to start with that one. Say it with me. I release all soul contracts I've ever been bound to. That power is domination, subjugation, and force. And that I have no power but to use force or accept it. I claim my birthright to have God's source in my heart as my power. So there's several things we have to do to heal our power flame. The first one is, I take back my power to say no. I say no to all obstacles, opposition, or anything that would keep me from being my divinely intended self. I send my higher self out ahead of me to remove all the obstacles and to take care of my needs prior to getting there. Thank you, higher self. Okay. Next one. Okay. I claim I am safe. Inherently. I am protected. Inherently. Just for being. Okay? Whenever we say that, who has fear and doesn't believe it? Most of us. I acknowledge any part of me that doesn't believe this, and I'm still open to being safe. Because you always have to acknowledge the veto. Anytime you have fear, anytime you have an emotion that comes up, a skeptical part of us, you have to acknowledge. Your skepticism is healthy. Just acknowledge it and ask for it to happen anyway. Okay? God, I don't know how to forgive that person, but I'm open to forgiving him if it's for my highest good. The part of me that doesn't want to, I acknowledge it. And I'm still asking that if forgiveness is missed, that you do that for me. So it's being honest that way. Does that make sense to you? Okay? So in order for our power flame to be healed, we have to say no, we have to be safe, and the third one is, I claim eternal peace as my birthright. I only draw to me life and relationships, situations and events that are peaceful, where I am at the center of peace. Thank you, higher self, for doing it. Okay. The third flame is the wisdom flame. It's our God knowing. Now the flame of love is receiving and having, and the flame of power is action and doing, and the wisdom flame is just for being. In the now, divine understanding, no action. And humans have to have an equal amount of receptivity as action. And when we sacrifice ourselves, we step into our adult, critic, warrior role, mental body, and we do everything we can to perform, run, get the grade, be safe. Every environment we go into, what do I have to do to fit in here? Okay? But if I'm safe just for being, I don't have to do that. And so the wound that many people are carrying is overdoing and not receiving. Because we have to receive equally as our action. Okay? And so in the wisdom flame, the birthright of the wisdom flame is to know as God knows. And what that means is that when you put your hand on your heart and you ask your higher self to reveal an answer to you, that's the same as turning the radio dial on the radio. And if you just be patient, the answer will come back to you in the language of the soul. And the language of the soul is metaphor, coincidence, synchronicity, and symbolism. which is why people teach that if you get a message 2 or 3 times, that pay attention. You know? Yeah. If a bird lands on your windshield 3 times and looks at you, there's a message. Pay attention to it, all right? So the wisdom flame, the wound on the flame of wisdom is being in my body is painful, being on earth is painful, it's a dog-eat-dog world. I want to escape my body and go to heaven. I'm like suicidal ideation. I don't understand addiction, timing contracts. All addiction and all timing contracts sit on the wisdom flame. So to heal our wisdom flame, we have to take back our power to know as God knows. And what that means is we're asking for the question and we're going to let Source answer us through the language of the soul. For some people, it's immediate. For other people, it might take a day or 2. But I guarantee if you ask your higher self a question from your heart, the answer will come to you from an outer knowing or from an inner knowing in multiple ways, right? And also, we can ask for divine demonstration of anything we're asking for. You can always ask for demonstration. Demonstration is really powerful because it restores our faith. So on the wisdom flame, we want to activate that knowing, okay? So we already put our higher self in our heart and did that. So the next part is say it with me. I release all timing contracts. I release any agreement that I have to hurry up. Or that there's not enough time. Okay? Yeah, like if you're that kid that's like, one day when you grow up, when you wait your turn, when you're good enough, you can finally get it. So you're still waiting? Right? So I walk in perfect timing with the universe.
I walk in perfect timing.
I'm always in the right place at the right time. Only divine order resides through all timing in my life.
Only divine order resides through all timing in my life.
Right. So, and then the next one is I release all hiding contracts.
I release all hiding contracts.
Okay? I claim my birthright
I claim my birthright
to stand in my light.
to stand in my life.
I stand in my light. I follow divine truth from my heart. I hold up my torch. It burns through all obstacles and lights my divine pathway. Because if you have a hiding contract, then your way is hidden from you. And if you want to know, you can stand up right now and put your hand on your heart and say, am I bound to any hiding contracts?
Hiding?
Hiding.
What is that?
Well, if you're a little kid and mom and dad are yelling, you're like, I'm going to go hide so I don't have to be in front of them. Or you're walking home from school and there's bullies. I'm going to run really fast and hide so the bullies can't see me. Or you were told as a kid to be seen and not heard, so you shut your voice down immediately as a child. And now as an adult, you have a hard time with an interview or a speech or talking out loud to people because you have a contract that says that you're not safe to express your voice. So when people as children say, I have to disappear to be safe, I have to hide to be safe, I have to shut down, they create energy containers of a finite universe. And their body becomes a box of finite frequencies, meaning that they are stuck in the negative alien agenda and all the implants can be activated in them and they can experience really negative experiences because it is state of consciousness. It's an infinite universe with infinite supply. There's always enough. I open myself to receive and have and experience the infinite supply that I am intended to have versus I have no power, I have no choice. If there is no choice, it is unjust. Justice and opportunities come together. If there is no choice, it is unjust. So say it with me. I claim my birthright to have multiple answers, choices, solutions, and ways line up in front of me and demonstrate themselves to me in a way that I personally understand. And through the power of the one heart in me, I know the one choice that serves my good in the one moment of asking for it or choosing it. Right. So whenever you feel limited and have no power or no choice, say, thank you, God, thank you, higher self, for multiple answers, multiple solutions, multiple options lining up and physically demonstrating themselves to me. Okay? Because it is your birthright to have choice and opportunity. And if there is no choice, then it's an unfair, unjust life. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about all of that? Because otherwise I'll just keep going.
You said something that we didn't say, but before, like 2 minutes ago as we were talking, about abundance.
Yes.
having.
Thank you, higher self,
Thank you, higher self.
for the infinite supply
For the infinite
of all
supply
good things
of all good
I am
things.
intended to have.
I'm intended
Thank you
to
for
have.
demonstrating it to me
Thank you for demonstrating
in physical ways that I understand.
this physical way that I understand.
Right. So, do you have judgments against money?
Not that I'm aware of.
Does anybody here have? You can stand up and ask your body pendulum. Am I storing any energy blocking the money or supply I'm intended to have in the now? Am I storing any unconscious energy that would block or keep me from having the money or the supply I'm intended to have in the now? How many people get a yes? Okay.
Why do we ask? Why don't we just clear everything whether we know about it or not?
Because people on their own way don't think about that stuff. And so I'm teaching people how to do it in an everyday way. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, most people, you don't have to clear if you know you can just ask for the good.
But I mean, but it's like, do I have something? It's like, well, I don't know if I have something, but
You
I'm
know
gonna
you
clear
don't.
everything I have.
But a lot of other people need it this way, because when they feel it in their body and they feel the yes, and when they feel the no, they know they've done it.
Oh, okay.
It's not me telling them. They've felt it from their own God knowing, okay? So if you have something blocking you, so we have to release judgment and condemnation of money, right? So we have to release all judgment of money, all judgment of gold, all judgment of silver, all judgment of wealth, all judgment of luxury, right? We have to re-identify it, okay? I'm open to having the infinite supply that Source wants me to have, and if money is the token of that rich substance, I'm open to coming to in the form of money, right? So if we begin to declare that money is the token of the rich substance of God, and I open myself to have all the rich substance of God I'm meant to have, then it should shift that for you, all right? So ask again, am I storing anything that would block supply in the now? Okay, that's what we'll work on tomorrow. I already know what it is. So it's not appropriate to say. All right. And that's why how we can use our body pendulum. How many contracts am I storing that would block money? How many energies? Who gets a number? Does anybody get a number? What number do you get? How many are mine? Okay. How many are my mom's? How many are my dad's? Okay. My mom believed money is. My dad believed money is. Okay, say it with me. I am not responsible. Put your hand on your heart. You can all say it. For my mother's or my father's beliefs, thought forms, values, or mindsets about money. I am not responsible for my ancestors' values, beliefs, or mindsets about money or the rich supply. Right. Okay. And I claim my right to have the infinite supply of all good things in tangible and non-tangible forms, including money and monetary means. And ask again, am I storing any energy blocking money? No. You do have to go back and heal that slave lifetime with the gold, right? Yeah, okay. Gratitude, we haven't gotten there yet. I am thankful for my life and every single moment that I have it in the day. Yes. There's hundreds and hundreds of spiritual teachers teaching gratitude. We all know gratitude rewires our mind and it heals us. But I don't have to spend a lot of time on gratitude because they're not teaching divine detachment. And Spirit wants me to teach divine detachment to as many people as possible, right? We want our little children who are right now very awake to be in their own column of lights so that as they grow up, they're very effective in bringing forward the light that they are here to carry and the medicine, right? So nobody taught us as kids that when you felt responsible for another person that their energy would sit in your body. Nobody ever told me that. I was told when I was 12 that my soul's purpose was to be in service to humanity. I took that on, 100% heartfelt. Okay? And one of the reasons why I share this work with you is because I have to clear other people's energies out of my body daily. because my body transmutes collective consciousness and other people's energies. So as a child, being told that I'm in service to humanity meant that I was basically filled with everybody on Mother Earth. Right? So now as an adult, I choose to stand in my column of light as a column of light and do my work in a different way. You're welcome. All right? Earth equals heart, right? If you rearrange the word for heart, you get the word earth. And earth is the playground. Souls from all over the world are coming to earth. You know, they all want to wake up and be free and sovereign. In Theosophy, it is taught that angels incarnate into human form so they could wake up and free all their angel selves. Because when you're an angel, you probably think humans are limited, and now that you're a human, you're limited with what you believe humans to be. That's the truth. And elemental beings, who are the molecular structure of the universe, is bound and formed by elementals. And mother equals matter. M-O-T-H-E-R is matter. M-A-T-T-E-R. And ascension is the spiritualization of matter. It's the restoration of the sacred white fire at the center of every atom and molecule in the elemental physical realm. All right? So when we're doing this work, we are literally clearing millions of elementals, because elementals do not have free will, and they must do every single thing that you say and think. So every time you think life is hard, more elementals go out in front of you and create more hardship. So when you release the agreement that life is hard, you're freeing all the elementals who were holding hardship in form. And that is part of the prophecies, was that there would be a time where we would free all the elementals. Every disease is bound and placed by elementals. Every toxin, every pollution is bound and placed by elementals. But as a co-creator being, your purpose is to rearrange the molecules in front of you to bring it into the highest divinely intended form in the now, by asking it to be so, and then Source does the physical action to bring it there. Does everybody understand that? Okay? The immaculate concept is one of the tools the Spirit uses through me. The immaculate concept is when one part of life holds a thought form of purity for and on behalf of another part of life. This is the Queen of Heaven, when Mother Mary was assumed into heaven. And the Queen of Heaven has asked and said that every single human being who uses the immaculate concept, she will immediately show up for, to bring it into form. And so in my book on page 113, that is the page where you will see the image of Mother Mary, because that is her work. And so when we hold the thought form of purity for and on behalf of others, we are beginning to create heaven on earth. So let me just share that with you. So you can say this with me under your breath if you want to. Standing in my divinity as my higher self, I now choose to hold thoughts of purity and love for and on behalf of my family, my friends, mankind, myself. I choose to practice the act of the immaculate concept. In this process, whenever I experience fear or undesirable qualities in a friend, family, situation, or the world, I recognize this and I hold beside it pure thoughts of what I would like to experience, or what God sees as the divinely intended idea, blueprint, or possibility. To do this, I open myself to see as Source sees, thus activating my divine understanding of each situation I am involved in. I begin to declare with the power of the spoken word this divine awareness by speaking out loud the immaculate concept for every situation. So we'll start from the beginning. The power of divine love, eternal transfiguring love, is now activated in me and resides in me. It's activated in my family and friends in the world and resides there. And in our relationship. So it's like that. We're going to hold the thought form of purity for others. What happens if you're in a marriage or a partnership and you are annoyed with the way your partner is and what they're doing? You got that beautiful laundry basket and your partner comes home and they take off their clothes and they throw it on the floor beside the laundry basket. And they do that every time. You're like, the laundry basket's right there. Why do you have to put them on the floor? Why can't you just put them in a laundry basket? Right? Or something else. See, the opportunity, I choose to not use the word challenge, and I replace that with the word opportunity. The opportunity is that when you are in a relationship with a person and you don't like what they're doing or how they're behaving, you spend a lot of time thinking negative thoughts about them. And every time you think that negative thought about them, you are pushing them further away from you, and you are creating that negative experience. So you have to be two people at once. You have to shift the 8 of heaven above earth, not on earth, or in my heart, but not in my life, to beside. I'm the person experiencing this reality, and I'm doing it with compassion and love, and I'm choosing to co-create the new reality as it's happening. So I could say the action of God works through all the kids in my home, and everybody lives there to bring forward a divinely ordered, clean house where all the chores are done easily and just for being. And then I come home and all the teenagers have done their chores, which is a real example. Or I can criticize my kids and be upset at them because they didn't do their chores when I got home at work. And then they can be mad at me because they're like, Mom, you're so critical. Oh. So then I learned that energy gets things done faster than the hand at person to person sometimes. So your job when you have an annoying friend, person, or loved one doing something that you don't like is to hold the thought form of purity beside it. Okay? It's really powerful. It's really what we're doing on the planet. 24/7, you have an opportunity to choose. Do you choose that which raises the vibrational frequency of yourself and others, or do you choose not to? Right? Holding the thought form of purity for and on behalf of others will get you through a trial or court case. If you begin to declare that only divine order, divine justice, and love works through the judge, my lawyer, and their lawyer to bring the divinely ordered just situation out or in place, it will happen. But if you go to court and you're angry at their lawyer and the government and the legal system, then your thought forms about the government, the legal system, and law enforcement officers will manifest in form in front of your eyes. Yes?
One thing I really find of huge value with what you're talking about right now, and it's consistent to everything that you're sharing, is this first accepting. Well, say something that you don't like, okay? And I'm having this experience, and I am then positive.
Yes.
Because particularly with what you're talking about right now, I think is really challenging for everybody, whether it's intimate relationships or like you're talking about the legal system, blah, blah, blah. You know, all of it.
Right.
Yeah. So it's...
See, the thing that happens is everybody's already ascending anyway, whether they're consciously choosing to or not. And because the Earth's frequencies have risen, what happens is your negative thoughts will manifest immediately.
Well, I realize that. But what I've chosen to do in the past is if someone is consistently bringing me a negative experience, I kind of go, okay, I think that you need to take that elsewhere.
Right.
But, instead of then bringing in this other component.
There's a couple of things there I'd like to address. The first is that part of this decision is daily I tell my mind what to think and my body what to feel. I choose to think good thoughts about myself and my life. I choose to feel good. And when I'm setting my physical boundaries in the physical world that are healthy, sometimes it is for my highest good to not be involved with a person because that person makes me feel bad about myself. I can still love a person unconditionally while I choose not to engage and sit beside them. But many humans are in their mental ego, and their identity is wrapped up around people pleasing and what that person's going to think or say about them. So mastery over outer conditions says that it doesn't matter what any person outside of us thinks about us at any time, because our purpose is to follow our God self in our heart, okay? And then the next piece of it is you're driving down the road and you're like, somebody almost cuts you off and you start swearing at drivers. You're more likely to get in an accident before you get home than if somebody tries to cut you off. You say, I put that into the violet flame and I claim only divinely ordered drivers today. Thank you, higher self, for safe, conscious drivers on the road. Everybody gets home safely. Everybody's aware of what's happening. Okay? And that's what I do. Okay? And when my partner started to say, oh, no, we call for divinely ordered drivers. Cautious drivers, careful drivers, everybody's in the right lane, everybody's in the right place, everybody gets home safely. And so it's multiple things at once. Over time, with conscious, deliberate intent, you skip from the negative to the positive. You won't even have the negative thought. I have been slowly replacing my words with words that are more empowering and higher vibration for more than 20 years. Every once in a while, I'll still swear a damn it word, and that's not good, because we're emptying out the halls of hell, meaning we're unbinding the bound, we're uncursing the curse, and we're undamning the damned. So anytime that happens, I'm like, oh, bless it, bless it, bless it. So that's what I do in that moment. But most of the time, I skip from the negative right over to the positive. And I don't even say the negative because I've trained myself. It takes 21 days of deliberately choosing to engage in a pattern. Then your higher self goes out ahead of you to create what that is in physical form. And that is from epigenetics. Because everything that I teach is aligned with epigenetics, with Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Greg Braden. The feeling is the prayer, right? So everything that I teach is designed to do that work, to reprogram your DNA, to clear the unconscious out, to reveal it and clear it, and to step into your full power, to be the full divinely intended expression of your God, Goddess self. If I have to shrink or be smaller or get littler or leave my body because I have a lot of trauma, the whole time I'm not in my body, entities can climb in my body. So when you're taking your body back, you have to kick all of that stuff out. All right? This is my body. Nothing else is allowed here. I'm the only being in this body. You know? And so it's very important. The immaculate concept is really important. Holding a thought form of purity for and on behalf of others. Any of the divinely intended birthrights of the 12 virtues of God, the 12 cosmic rays. All humans are intended to have all of those. All of them. Peace, love, compassion, transfiguration, purity, power, all of them. And every single one of those you can use as an immaculate concept phrase and activate them. Activation means you're waking up the sacred white fire at the center of the atom. And the DNA, the atom, already stores all 12 virtues within it. In other words, the seed of the apple holds the full potential of being the tree with all the fruit. And every cell that you have holds the full potential of you being a walking Christ. And if we can all walk on water, how are we going to get along? See, that's the challenge or opportunity that we have on Maui. Because in Maui, everybody believes they're a master and they have nothing to learn from anyone. So they just want to teach, but they don't want to learn. However, if you're all a Christ or a master at once, now what are you going to do? Well, most likely you need to start playing and having fun and healing the planet together in group prayer, right? Because if we're in our column of light, and we're doing our work from our sacred heart, it becomes very easy to heal the planet. Very easy. Yes?
I have a question concerning environmental issues.
Yes?
Like when we concentrate on the environmental problems, we are actually creating them instead of praying for the solution.
Right?
So, for example, if I take an example of the Ohia rapid death,
Of the what?
of IA Rapid Death campaign.
I don't know what that is.
Healers are dying. They have a fungus or something that's killing them.
What are they? Trees?
Yeah, trees.
And so the campaign is called Rapid Death. Rapid Death. So by repeating that, we contribute to the rapid death.
That's true. Right. May life be activated here. That's the truth. Life is activated here. Thank you, God, for all trees having an opportunity to continue their life, right? See, the thing is that right now there's a lot of animals that they thought were endangered that are starting to show themselves again. And there's a lot of animals that are going extinct. And you're in a human body, but your soul's eternal. So from your eternal awareness, you know that Mother Earth is always going to be okay. Okay? Mother Earth is much bigger than us. We have hundreds of positive ETs helping us. Hundreds of them that are making all the nuclear weapons inert, Fukushima inert. That's not public information, but it is happening. How many people here know about that? Okay? So you get to step up and do your part. And your part is to recognize those words when you see them and replace them with the positive words. All right? And to take a stand, right? I take back my power to stand. Slavery is stored in the legs from here down. And those people have feet that hurt really bad. And anybody who says they don't understand, their feet hurt. So I take back my power to stand. I stand in my light. I stand for my truth. I stand for Mother Earth. Right? And Spirit tells me that many humans do not know that they are on an alternative timeline. Meaning that in a previous lifetime, your soul has been obligated to work for a false paradigm that is not part of the one ascension of Mother Earth. So let's say it together. Say it with me. I release all allegiances and any previous lifetime or this one to any government, king, queen, church, monarchy, fraternity, sorority, cult, general. Okay, I proclaim that all my energy from this day forward is only for the one ascension of Mother Earth. Past, present, future. Thank you, higher self, for doing it. Because if in a previous lifetime my soul said, my job is to protect the king, and I'm a knight in armor, then my energy might still only be for that soul in this lifetime. Right? We have lots of people on the planet that say they're from the future, and the reason why they're here is to stop the Earth from becoming an artificial intelligence future. So in order to do that, you have to declare what your energy is for. I know many great spiritual leaders whose energy is not aligned with the one ascension of Mother Earth. All right? So all my energy is 100% for the one ascension of Mother Earth. I work for Divine Mother. Okay? Because I am a representative of Divine Mother, that means I can ask anything that is of Mother to shift form and shape. And in fact, Divine Mother wants me to do that. So if I'm waking up coughing for 6 weeks in a row at 3 to 5 in the morning, trying to figure it out, and then I take a drive, an 800-mile drive, and in the middle I start coughing, and I pull over, and I immediately go into a vision that I am the Canadian goose, and Divine Mother's talking to me at the same time and says, the geese cannot make it. Their migrational sonar has been thwarted from the humans' harp machines. And I need you to command all the geese and give them permission to shift form and shape into their highest fifth dimensional form in the now, where human navigational harp electromagnetic energy no longer affects them. And then a week later, I fly and land in Seattle, and thousands of geese land in the land right where I go to stay. That's one of 100 things I can tell you like that. Because humans can commune with every plant, every insect, every animal, every tree, and every element. And part of your purpose as a co-creator is to be the steward of Mother Earth. Take up your stewardship and regard for life. And be the protector of the environment and the animals and the bees. And talk to the bees and say to the bees, you have permission to have free will, shift form and shape, and no longer have these chemicals kill you. And talk to the chemicals. I give you permission to shift form and shape and no longer be used to hurt our animals or our insects, right? So like for a while there, rhodium came to me, and rhodium started talking to me. Like, why is rhodium talking to me? Rhodium is an element on the periodic table of elements. Rhodium, they make palladium out of. Palladium is used for cyborgs and all NASA navigation and artificial intelligence. And nanites. So the message was, talk to the rhodium and the palladium that has been used to create artificial intelligence against humans, to the cyborgs, and give permission to that element to spin revolution, spin up speed, so it can become like monochromatic, like Ormus, so that it's no longer bound to the programming of the negative agenda. And in my vision, for 3 days, I watched thousands of cyborgs walk through the gates of heaven. Yes?
In this timeline split and our co-creating the new fifth dimensional in alignment with Mother Earth, where have you seen Native peoples fit in this?
Well, every human wants to restore our indigenous cultures and beliefs. And the value in the indigenous cultures is they're very close to Earth and that they retain the star knowledge.
So they would still be within the fifth dimensional.
Fifth dimension means divine blueprint in physical form. Heaven on Earth. It's not a dimension, it's an experience. Okay? Right. And the indigenous people still have a patriarchal problem. Okay? If you're a woman and you're not allowed to go into ceremony because you have your menstruation cycle, and they say you're too powerful, don't we need the most powerful women that there are at this time to heal the planet?
Well, and the other overlay is religion, you know, that's happened.
All religions are designed to keep you trapped.
Yeah, so there's those things.
And they all have messages of truth.
Kind of invoking.
Back into the heart.
That you're offering, yes.
Back into the heart.
Yes.
Back into the heart. Okay? If people go, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Stand up and let's put your hand on your body if no one's asked. Okay? I'm not going to give you the answer. I can score the frequency of whether it's for your highest good or not. Alright? So, but that's that. So let's go further. Okay. Cosmic sight. Say with me, I claim my cosmic sight.
I claim my cosmic sight.
I take back my power to see as source sees through the single eye. I am open to seeing all the beauty in everyone, everywhere, and everything. You have to claim your cosmic sight to get it, okay? We've got to remove the blinders. Many people have blinders on them. Next one. So, when we're doing transmutation, we put it into the violet flame. So let's just do a little bit of that. So, say it with me. I place into the violet flame all life's experiences of hardship, abuse of power, or the environment, or humans. I place that into the violet flame to clear the memories, records, cause, core, trauma, and effect for all lifetimes. Thank you, God. Thank you, higher self, for doing it. And the way I teach it is we storm into the violet flame. And when you storm into the violet flame, you can spend time. Does somebody want to help me? Pass some of these out. You might have to share.
Is that the twin flame thing?
Hi.
This one?
No, I didn't hand that one out yet.
Oh, never mind. Another one.
Okay, so when we're working with the violet flame, turn to the second page. So when you turn to the second page, what you're going to do, does everyone have one? And if you don't have one, grab a Who needs a piece of paper and pen because they don't have one? Great.
Oh, a pen? Okay, pens?
Here we go. You have to please give me my violet flame pens back. Okay, I'm trying to teach you an exercise. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, but this is a really powerful exercise. Anybody want a piece of paper? Please bring my pens back to me when they're done. They're about $4 a piece.
I don't need a pen.
Okay, 3 minutes, okay? So if you have a piece of paper, you write at the top of it, into the violet flame. Sorry.
When should I do What are you doing?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, so I'm going to put the timer on for 3 minutes. What I want you to do, if you have a piece of paper, you just write into the violet flame at the top of the paper, okay? I want you to write out the most negative, unjust situations you can think of for 3 minutes. Most people resist this. When you start to do it, what happens is the doorway opens up, and the unconscious starts to flow through you, okay? Storm into the violet flame, all the negatives. I'll put my timer on for 3 minutes. No, the worst of the worst. Read the instruction. Who wants to read it out loud to me? Somebody please read it.
Place all suffering, pain, lack of judgment, and dense experiences into the violet flame, clearing the memory, record, cause, core, and effect for all lifetimes. Storm dense emotions on this worksheet. Everything I hate, fear, or judge. Everything that is unfair, unsafe, unjust, painful, harsh, and difficult. All wrongs in the world and life. As you write down and storm into this worksheet, each energy listed or acknowledged is automatically bathed in the purifying spiritual solvent of the violet flame.
Okay. It's a very powerful transmutation exercise. Most people tell you to ignore your negative. This is a way to look at your negative while you're clearing it. 3 minutes. Whatever can come to you. And it's already half up, so... 3 minutes. All right.
Why just 3 minutes?
Because we're getting close to 5 o'clock, okay? So I do it for 7 minutes in a bigger class.
Of course.
So what I want to know is, does anybody want to share that experience? Did anybody have a good experience with that? Does anybody want to share it?
I just had adjectives.
You have adjectives?
Yeah.
Mine come out as one word. Like what will happen is I'll have a body part that's hurting and I'll hear the words and I'll start writing it and then all this energy comes out and it's a whole way of going through humanity. Decapitation, suicide, death, it's just like be the worst of the worst, okay? So now what happens is when you're doing it, like if it's about a situation like my boss at work or like Monsanto or the trees, okay? So when you have a specific situation, you can start doing this and writing. What will happen is I've seen multiple people have full past lifetimes flood them in the middle of it because it opens up the door into the unconscious, okay? Now that you've made room, we could share with each other what we put in the violet flame. So give me like 3 people, just one thing that you put into the violet flame. Who wants to say what they put into the violet flame? Somebody, yes?
Killing of children by the Illuminati.
Killing children by the Illuminati. Who else wants to put something in the violet flame?
Distortions.
Distortions. Anyone else?
War.
Say it again.
War.
War. Anyone else? Okay.
Judgment.
Judgment, yes. Okay, so now turn the page to the next page. And if you have white paper, of course you can't turn the page. The next page is you're going to choose to create the new reality. So normally what I would do is if we were in a ceremony, we would all stand up around a fire and we would all put our violet flame paper in the fire and burn it up. And then we would say out loud what we want to create in its place. So, say it with me. Say it with me, guys. Thank you, Spirit.
Thank you, Spirit.
For this or something better.
For this or something
For the
better.
highest good and joy of all.
For the highest good and joy of all.
I claim and take back my divinely intended powers.
I claim and take back my divinely intended powers.
I claim and take back my divinely intended birthrights.
Claim and take back.
And my power to choose.
And my power to
I now choose.
I now choose.
So what do you want to choose to create besides war? So thank you for the peace that is activated in the hearts and minds of all humans. Okay, who else? What?
Joy.
Joy.
Ease.
Thank you for the joy that's activated in the hearts and minds of all humans and now demonstrated to me, or in me in my life, and is in physical and tangible form. What would you put instead of killing Illuminati?
Sacred life for all children, safe.
Safe, sacred life for all children is now restored on planet Earth and activated in the hearts and minds and actions of all human beings and negative agenda beings.
Distortions, clarity.
Okay? Clarity, truth, illumination is now activated in the hearts and minds of all beings in this matter. Okay? Does that make sense to you? So go home and you burn your violet flame paper, write out your new one. This is an exercise that you can do once a week, once a month. But when I'm working with people regularly and they're calling me and they're really angry about something that's happened, I'm like, go storm into the violet flame and then call me back. Okay? And then the 3rd page teaches you how to do it. Putting it all together. Right? And the 1st page gives you more information about the violet flame. And by the way, this is a free download on my webpage, heavenonearthjustforbeing.com. My business cards are here. You can go right onto my webpage and you can print off all of these flyers that I have on the paper for free. Just for yourself to use, and you can share them with yourself and others. So they're there for you to use, and they're all in my book, okay? So when we're working with the violet flame, we can say it out loud, which is what most people say and do. But when we actually take our time to write into the violet flame and then burn it, it's like more oomph. It's a little bit bigger clearing. When we clear something out, it creates a vacuum. We have to choose what we want to put in its place, okay? And I want to do one more affirmation with all of you, and then for those people who are leaving at 5, they can do that. So judgment is a curse, and this is for Lori, okay? So there's 3 ways that I like to work with judgment, okay? When somebody is judging you, you'll feel that energy smacking you in the back of your head, other people's judgments of you. When you judge someone or something, you are manifesting the judgment. And you will get what you're judging, okay? When you judge yourself one time, you get 10 judgments from the world against you. When you judge another human, you will get 10 of those against you. That's why we use the immaculate concept, yes?
Okay, and so like, I am like extremely sensitive to other people judging,
Yes.
other people. Okay, and so it's not actually
Yeah.
me judging or, other
Right.
people judging me. It is more, any judgment.
Yes,
at
a lot
all
of
is
people
very
are.
hard.
And those
Okay.
people are here to bring forward divine justice on the planet.
Okay.
That's their medicine. Okay? Say it with me. We're going to first do self and then we'll go to that one. Okay? I release all self-judgment
all self-judgment
and condemnation
and condemnation
for all lifetimes.
for all lifetimes.
Okay? Thank you, higher self.
Thank you, higher
Next
self.
one. There is no judgment
There is no
or condemnation
or condemnation
in me,
in me,
for me,
for me,
around me,
around me,
against me.
against me,
In people,
in people,
for people, around people, or against people.
against people.
I do not judge others.
I do not judge.
Others do not judge me.
Others do not
People do not judge people.
People do not judge me.
Because only God's divine order
Only God's divine love
and eternal love
and eternal
now
love
resides in my mind,
resides in
my body, and my life. In everywhere, everyone, and everything. And whenever I'm feeling judgment, I just start that. There is no judgment or condemnation in me, for me, around me, or against me. Literally, I was working with the whole temple and all the staff in the temple, like it's a communal housing. There's like 7 people living on the property, and they're all doing really bad, and they were all judging each other. And the minute I had them all begin to declare, there is no judgment for the temple, around the temple, against the temple, people living here, everything went forward again. Okay? Judgment is the fastest way to block your prosperity and supply. So, we're not going to judge or condemn. There is no judgment or condemnation in me, for me, around me, or against me. Only love and divine order resides here. Only love and divine order resides there and in our interactions. And it is a state of consciousness, because if you proclaim that order and love resides there, it will happen. So does anybody have any questions? Okay? Yes?
Where does the 10 come from? If you judge, we get 10 judges.
That's just an energetic that's taught traditionally, and it may be less or more than that, according
Thoughts on
taught from Theosophy. You're welcome. And thank you for asking. So maybe I should change those words to it has been taught by Theosophy, so that we can clarify that in future talks. Okay. So light, 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 right? We are light. So we're going to do the light affirmation. Okay. The most powerful affirmations I have ever experienced in my life are light affirmations. Some of the darkest places that I have been, where my vehicle was broke down, my phone was broke down, and I didn't have income. And when I did a few hours of light affirmations, somebody called me and bought me a plane ticket to go be on a radio show. And I always imagine myself as a lighthouse. That's just what the image that Spirit brings to me. Say it with me. Light, light, light. Say it again. Light, light, light. Light is produced in the center of my bones. I radiate light. I emanate light. I magnify light. Light, light, light. I am light. All is revealed in light. All is healed in light. All is liberated in light. So those are the light affirmations. And when we begin to proclaim that light is produced at the center of our bones, it activates the gold molecule alchemically in your blood and your body. And it is part of the science of immortality. And you can walk through the fire of man unscathed with the fire of God at the center of your bones. So this is one of the techniques that we can do, so that if we get toxins from our food or the environment, like chemtrails, that those toxins are rendered inert in our body because we're restoring the fire of the life force at the center of our bones. And it will begin to rejuvenate your body and restore your youth and vitality, okay? If in a previous lifetime your soul said that you would rather die than live, or that death frees you from painful life, then that will, in this lifetime, create autoimmune diseases in your body and shut down your life force energy early. So would you like to do the affirmation that opens that back up before you leave? Okay, say it with me. Light, light, light.
Light, light, light.
I am light.
I am light.
Light is produced in the center of my bones
Light is produced in the center
and
of
bursts
my
forth from the center of every atom of my being. I now command my pineal gland
Now command my pineal gland
to stop producing death and decay hormones
to stop producing death and decay
and to
hormones.
begin producing life and vitality hormones of everlasting life. Okay? The ruby red ray of the divine life force is now activated in me and my life. It rolls out in front of me like a red carpet. Every step I take, life lifts up. All that empowers me, heals me, energizes me, motivates me, provides for me, sustains me, nourishes me, and enlightens me. Light, light, light. I shine forth my light. So it's just a little after 5. If I was told that we're ending at 5, but we can go as long as you want.
Wait, may I just ask a question? Okay, because I'm not sure if you said this or not, but I thought you said that these things that we are saying today only last for a day, and we could choose for them not to actually hold in a day or tomorrow. Okay, and so like
that's not okay. Let me just say that that's
Right.
not what I said.
Okay,
What I mean by that
got
is
it.
whenever we're asking, it's in the now. In the now.
Okay.
So tomorrow, what is it in the now? The next day, what is it in the now? For some people, it lasts forever.
Okay, and so would there be anything for us to do to actually, have it hold?
Have it hold, yes.
Yeah.
Create your column of light every day. Turn on your heart, Taurus. Make sure that nobody else's energy is in your body. Set your daily intent. Those are the daily plays. If you do that and you have 0 energies blocking your good, freedom, and your intent, you will always manifest immediately.
Is it,
Yes.
is it all, in the book?
It's all in that book.
Okay.
My second book is How to Clear the Records of the Soul. It's called Divine Revelation, Removing Obstacles for Success. I'm in the process of getting ready to publish that. It's a multidimensional, in-depth healing technique that teaches how to clear the soul's records from this lifetime, previous human lifetimes, and previous non-human lifetimes, including cosmic lifetimes and animal lifetimes. It was too much information for this book. I had to just get it out. And this book has been a big deal for me. My hands literally burned, my mouth burned while I was publishing it because it was of all my own previous sermons. It's $20. You can also get it from my webpage or from Amazon, heavenonearthjustforbeing.com. And most of those, the worksheets on the table, which if you would like one, you can have one, are free downloads from my webpage that you can get on and download as well, all right? And so when I work with people in individual sessions, I write their name and their birthday down, and I ask them their intention. And then we begin, because the way Spirit works through me is if you have an intention, like maybe to open up a new company, I can see what would keep you from being successful with that or what's blocking you. And then as soon as we clear that, I can see what support Spirit wants to bring for you to help you with it. That's the way Spirit works through me. That's just part of the way it works. Because I spent 20 years in mental health settings, my job was to teach skill building to personality disordered adults and children. And I